We are back. Hey, welcome to Body Image Series Part 4. I am so glad you came. All right. I have four wonderful ladies with me today. And today we are going to be talking about body image and social media. Now, when I say I have four wonderful ladies, I'm not saying I have four wonderful ladies because it was totally geared toward women, but they're the ones that responded. So if you're a guy that's out there and you really want to talk about body image in men, I know Whitney told me that it's not really the big thing to talk about. But if you really want to talk about it, message me. We'll talk about it. We'll go over it. We'll get into it because body image is important. Scripture tells us that our body is a temple of the Lord. So then we should put some emphasis on the body, right? We shouldn't just treat it any kind of way, right? So tonight we're going to talk about social media and its effects. Now, a lot of times when we hear about social media, we hear the negatives. We hear about how bad it is for you, how everybody that's on social media is teaching the wrong thing. It's horrible. I mean, it's demonized. It is demonized so much so that people are watching social media and sneaking and doing it because they don't want people to judge them. It's kind of like that guilty pleasure, right? You spend hours and hours and hours on end on social media, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, you name it. You spend those hours on those platforms. And when you do, you don't tell anybody because social media is bad. But social media is a reality. We all live in an age where social media is how we advertise, how we communicate, how we connect, we network. We do it all on social media. But there's also the side that there is a correlation between what people see on social media and how they view themselves. So we're going to get into it tonight. We're going to talk about how it affects people, how it's negative, how it's positive, and then we're going to talk about ways that we actually look at social media and measure our person, ourselves, and people that aren't in our lives that may be looking at social media and measuring themselves. All right. Whew, that was a lot. But it's good. Social media is a good thing. It's a positive thing if you look at it that way. All right. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce each of these ladies. Okay. I'm not going to tell you about them. They're going to talk about themselves, but I'll give you their names. And then in about 30 seconds, tell me who you are, tell me what you do, tell me where we can find you. Okay. All right. So, we have first off, we have Nora Brown, we have Whitney Jacobs, Denisha McCarter, and Marie Rogers. So we're going to start with you, Nora. Tell us a little bit about you, where we can find you, what you do. 30 seconds.
All right. Hey, everybody. I'm Nora. Like she said, well, my name is Nora, but I go by Nora. And pretty much I am the founder and CEO of Girl Talk Inc. And you can follow me on all social media as Girl Talk Inc. And I'm really happy to be here.
Awesome. It's good to have you, Nora.
Glad to be
Whitney.
here.
Hi, I'm Whitney Jacobs. So I am owner of Freedom Fitness. Same deal. You can find me on all social media under that name. So I also work healthcare IT, but mostly passion here is my brand of Freedom Fitness.
All right. Thank you, Whitney. Denisha.
Hi, everybody. I'm Denisha. I'm 43. I'm almost an empty nester. I work in corporate America right now. I'm basically a really glorified administrative assistant. I have a lot to do, but I love my job, and I am so happy to be here tonight. I'm ready to talk about this.
Glad you're here. All right, Marie.
Hi, I'm Marie Rogers. I am a daycare teacher, take care of little 2.5-year-olds. I'm on most all social media as Jesus runs my life, and I'm happy to be here.
Well, it's good that you're here. Okay, ladies, y'all ready to get into it? Now, if you want to hear more about their story, their journey, all of that, go back and listen to episode 1. We talked about body influence. Oh my goodness. We went into it, the effects of body image on our self-image. We talked about fashion trends, prototypes, pole dancing, or is it, what was it? Was it? Maybe. Did we get into that? BBLs. We talked about all of it, right? And then the second episode, we talked about body positivity, negativity, neutrality, and how negative images are really pushing for eating disorders, and how 9% of people in the US are fighting and facing eating disorders, right? We talked about that, body dysmorphia, all of that jazz. And the absence of any kind of body image message in the church. So we talked about that. Then episode 3, we talked about body image and relationships. We discussed relationships and the perceptions that people have about us and what they think about us based on the way we look. Then we talked about attractiveness, desirability, and then we narrowed it in on the journey, for the cancer journey, the performance arts journey, the athletics, bodybuilding, weightlifting, and then new mom image. So tonight, let's get into it. Y'all ready?
Yep.
I feel like y'all are. I feel like y'all are. Y'all just like, come on. All right. So body image is hard, was hard in a world prior to social media. I don't know if, Marie, did you exist before social media?
I don't know. I had a social media.
Okay. So in a world without social media, body image, the perspective was hard. Now that social media has come into play, how has it affected your life? We're going to start with you again, Nora. How has social media affected your life as far as your body image is concerned?
Let's see. That's a good question. I think that it really has opened you up and exposed you, whereas you could hide before. I started social media when I was in college, so it was like right after high school, I got onto social media, and it just has been a part of my life ever since. So, but I guess now you can't really hide. So if you gain weight, people see you. If you, whatever you're going through, they kind of just get a picture without seeing you up close. It used to be if you run into them in Walmart or you haven't seen them in whatever, you don't have to worry about that. But now it's like every day you got to try to keep up, especially if you got an image to uphold, or a platform or whatever the case may be. So, yeah, that's the big difference that I've noticed.
You can run, but you can't hide, right?
Yeah.
That's what comes.
Yeah.
Denisha?
I have found that social media will have you second, third, fourth, and fifth guessing every single thing about your life, probably 100 times a day, especially your body image. We're looking at skinny people. We're looking at, BBLs. We're looking at all this, and then we're looking at our bodies and comparing. And I think over time that can become very toxic in our own minds if we don't know how to mitigate that.
Whitney?
Yeah, it's like Denisha said, you're sitting here second guessing yourself, comparing yourself. And at the same time, it can be good. Like, I mean, that's what I try to use my pages for, as far as like in fitness and health and things like that, because there is so much garbage and lies out there on social media, especially when it comes to body image. You have people promoting health and wellness and do this and do that, but they went to Dr. Miami and spent $20,000, and we're comparing ourselves to that, and it's not real, So it's, as far as like being in the industry of fitness, it's like, it's hard, and it's like kind of taking a hit, and it kind of undermine the integrity of it, to be honest. But yeah, it's a comparison with everything, even like bodybuilding, modeling. You're seeing other people, and I'm like, like, get it together. Like, I am together, but when you see other people, it's a constant comparison.
Marie?
I agree. It's full comparison. That's one thing that I've noticed huge when I started, because I didn't start social media until I was about 17, 18 years old. So I got late in the game, but it is very huge with comparison, and it can make you sad because then you're depressed because you don't really see yourself the way you see that other person, but you know what, you're your own person, and that's hard to see sometimes.
Wow. There's 3.6 billion users on social media worldwide. And we know, like we're saying, there is a correlation between negative body image and the way people see themselves. I mean, it's pretty obvious because you're seeing people put forth their best self. And like you're saying, can you compete with Airbrush? Can you? All right, come on, Marie. Can you compete with Airbrush?
No. But I mean, you also have to think about it is like you can put on, there's so many filters, there's so many things that you can do with photos. You can put on that best smile. You can make that smile by, photoshopping it, but you don't see the person behind the camera actually really crying or depressed or anxious. Instead, you just see the good, happy side of them.
Right, that's true.
All right, Denisha.
To what you just asked?
Mm-hmm. Can you compete with Airbrush?
No, you can't compete with airbrushing. You can't compete with photoshopping. You can't compete with somebody's thighs that look like this and all of a sudden it looks like that. The same picture, but it's and it's not even a real image. So how can you compete with something that isn't real? And you're a real person. So we're putting ourselves up against images that are not even real every single day and comparing ourselves to that. It's crazy.
Wow. Okay, Nora. Tell me about it.
Oh my goodness. I just think about the dark waters we get into trying to be like other folks, and the situations that people find themselves in trying to compare or trying to compete with co-workers, friends, family, whoever it may be. I just remember when I first had kids and I did my first Christmas pictures, and I'm like, y'all is wrong for this because y'all didn't tell me I was gonna be in here sweaty. Like I literally left the photo shoot with pit stains, y'all. Like it was that serious. Like the kids wasn't still. It was a mess. It was a total wreck. I literally have not took pictures since the very first year. You will not catch me in any of those family pictures because it's a joke. And so when I see those pictures and all those women with those pretty smiles, I'm like, girl, I know you sweated out your edges. I know that you was hot and mad when you left. Like, listen, people need to be more realistic. I love those photographers who do the behind the scenes to show you what took place to get them to where they are now. I follow content like that just because I like the honesty of it. Like how much it took. And I seen one boy who did a Sprite commercial out of his bedroom, and like the work it took just to make that can look the way it did when the pop came out the can. Like it was hours of editing. So I like the honesty of people when they bear it all. And so that's kind of the life I lead with my organization. So anyway, yeah, it's crazy.
my pit sweated. I hate family pictures. Like at the last one we did, we were in a park and I was like, why are we out here? Like there's leaves and all kinds of stuff. And then like I don't like bugs like that. I mean, I was eating gnats and stuff like that. Like for somebody that doesn't like bugs, like it's a real deal. So I'm in there like the lady was like, you have to calm down. And I was like, this is a lot. Like,
I couldn't imagine. Yeah.
It wasn't the kids, it was the bugs. Like
so many factors.
Man, it was a lot going on. Woo. So I agree, Nora. Woo. Geez.
Yeah, it's a lot.
But that is something like to see all the work that it does take for people to like really put in, that they're showing forth their best self, who they look like, what they look like. I mean, I even look at contouring, but we'll go into that in a minute. Can you compete with Airbrush?
It's crazy when you talk about the amount of work that puts in. I'll say even for myself with a lot of shoots that I do, I tell them like not to like touch my stuff a whole lot. Like if you want to get rid of stuff like this, like purples, have at it. But like I had a photographer one time, like you guys see this jawline, right? It's pretty strong jawline. They like made my face look softer and like more round or whatever. I was like, why would you do that? He's like, well, people like, and I'm like, but that's not me.
All
That's
right.
not me. And I deal with a lot of kids, and I'm like, I don't ever want them to see a picture and be like, that's not you, Miss Whitney. Like, I want them, because I would tell them to be comfortable with themselves. So, but they put in a lot of time editing. Like the things that I've seen, like taking out like just even hairs along your eyebrow, making it look perfect, changing like color, and like when you say that your thighs can be like this and all of a sudden like they're like this, like they really do that. It's like it's all in a computer program. So but it can take a toll on you mentally, because when you see images of yourself as well after they've airbrushed it and done all that work and you look like amazing and perfect, but then you look at yourself and you're like, but that's not really me, and you didn't like, I'm not good enough, you had to change the way I look. It can be it can be a lot. Yeah. So
Oh man. Okay. Contouring, and then we're coming back to that. I posted a video a couple of days ago, and this lady, she was like, she had all this contour. Like I contour, okay? Like I contour, but I don't contour to look like somebody else. Like it seems like it's disingenuous, right? To a degree. Like, can I look like myself and still be beautiful, right? So this lady, so she's on this date, and she's got contouring like here and all here, like, and there's down her, and it's not rubbed in, it's not blended at all. It's just she's on the date with this contour on my face. The guy's like, you have mud on your face. She's like, no, it's contouring. I look great on social media. So she pulls the camera up and she's looking at herself, and it's amazing. I mean, her face is glowing. He was like, so he pulled his camera up so that he could finish the date with this woman, because, you know, that's the only way that he can really look and see how pretty she is, because she's got all this contouring. She doesn't even look like the same person. Okay. So,
Wow.
I'm not saying that having makeup is bad, but when you, another story. This man married this woman.
I just thought about that. I was going to say it.
She did a lot of contouring. They got married. He had never seen her without makeup. They went swimming. And he couldn't figure out who she was. So, and I'm not saying that to like be. Is there some disingenuousness with contouring so much that it changes the entirety of how you look? Is that I don't want to say it's right or wrong, but maybe I guess I'm looking for the motivation. Who wants to tackle this one?
Well, I personally don't do it because I don't wear foundation. I wouldn't even know what shade to pick out or anything. I just don't even wear it. I mean, I slap on a little lip gloss, I put on a little eyeshadow, and that's about it. The origins of contouring for me, I don't care for it because it came from drag queens, and men were contouring their faces to look more feminine. So I just don't care for that aspect of makeup. As just a personal thing. I'm not saying about anything about anybody else, but I have seen women that have taken contouring, and you can, chisel your jawline, you can make your nose look slimmer, all that. More power to you. That's great. I just personally don't have the time for that. I honestly don't. I don't want to be at MAC and at Sephora and at Ulta and 4 different places to get 6 different shades of foundation to mix them and baking. And I thought baking was for the oven. I didn't know baking was for your face now. I was like, what the heck is that? So yeah, it's just, I don't have time for it. And I don't personally care for the origins of contouring. That's why I don't participate in it. No shade on nobody who does though.
I like contouring. It makes me feel good about myself to a degree. Just saying. Especially when I picked up a little bit.
No shade. No shade.
Makes me look great on the camera. Just for the camera.
Maybe I should try it. I don't know. Maybe I should.
Maybe. Nora, can you address contouring for me?
Hi, y'all. Sorry, I got interrupted right there. Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree with the thing of looking like a completely different person. Like I watch a lot of makeup transitions and I love to watch makeup. I don't do a lot of makeup, but I do wear makeup and I pay people to do my makeup when I do different things. And they can make your nose look like it's a European nose and it's not.
Yes.
Like I've literally seen my face go from being a whole nother person. But I've been on social media a long time, y'all. I know we all have, but I've been on there since like '04 or whatever. It's been a long time. But I will literally see people in public and be like, who are you? Like I don't even recognize the person from Facebook versus in real life. And I talk with women all the time online. Like I build online relationships with women and then I do events or whatever and I see them and I'm like, wow, like that literally doesn't look like you, like at all. But it's so crazy how many filters you can do on Snapchat and very soft ones now to where it'll create eyebrows, give you lashes, rosier cheeks, fuller lips. And it's very subtle filters that will literally make you look like a completely different person. And so sometimes if I don't want to get a full face going, I'll just pop on a filter and jump on there and it'll look natural. Like I used to be like, hey, y'all, this is a filter, but now I don't even say it sometimes because I just think everybody uses filters, but it's crazy. I don't have on one a day, obviously, but I could have if I wanted to do it because I think you even have them on this app, right?
Yeah.
To where you can just make yourself look better. But I think it's something to be said about a person who can boldly come before the camera as who they are. And that is so genuine to me when I see women show up as their real selves. The same person that shows up in Walmart is the same person on a live chat or an interview or doing real videos. So I commend people who are able to do that. But I also know that some people are not in a place mentally or emotionally where they're able to do that because of the condition of the world and the way the world or the public or general has put us in as women, and as people in general, because men do it too. They wear the makeup and they'll put the filters on just like women will more, but I think women admit to it more than men. But I think it's something to be said about where people are mentally in their self-esteem when they're able to do that with the freedom to do that. So I don't knock women who don't do it, but I also understand like you have to be mentally stable to be able to show your real self, and that's all a part of your journey, your healing journey.
Yeah. So like in no way am I making fun of that because like I said, I enjoy contouring. Right. I was laughing at the video and I did.
Absolutely. I see that video.
Totally hilarious.
Yeah, I watched that video on TikTok.
So funny.
Yeah.
Okay, Whitney, I feel like you said you weren't contouring. Did you say you don't like contouring either?
Listen, y'all, I own like mascara and lip gloss. Like I want to know what to do. You understand? So when you guys like see my face, like great, mask at work, like I break out, you're gonna see it because I don't have the time. Yeah. I don't like doing things that I'm not good at anyways, and I don't want to sit here on YouTube and watch and try to figure stuff out, and then I look like like it looks okay on one side but not the other. I don't have time.
Come on, tell them.
Think about the amount of money that people spend on that, and this is how I equate money. I could buy so much. I could equate it to like how much groceries could I buy? I'm spending $100 in Mac. That is like 2 weeks of groceries. I don't have time, nor the money, nor the patience, and I touch my face too much. Like I would come out here looking like smeared all over at the end of the day. So I'm always like doing something like it doesn't matter. So like kudos to y'all who can do that, but that's just not my forte and my gifting. Yeah. So
I agree.
But I think part of like what we're talking about, like the origins of some stuff is like we talked about before, like the standard. So you see a lot of people look the same in makeup now, instead of like you just enhancing the things that are natural to you. Now everybody's like doing the same contouring, the same thing. So everybody's starting to look the same with makeup on because of the standard that's set and what's expected from society and social media and Hollywood. So
it's a really good point.
That is a good point.
Mm-hmm.
We'll come back to that. Marie?
I agree with Whitney. I don't have the time to do it, nor do I really want to do it, to be honest, or the money. I think for me also what deterred me from it was growing up, I had a friend who would literally do my makeup to look like a specific singer and then do photo shoots as if I was that singer. And so I'm like, that's not even me. So, okay, but no thanks.
Wow.
Thank you. So I did want to go into this. I asked about the disingenuousness. We did talk about like the people not being mentally ready to come out as themselves. Is it okay for a person to contour, do whatever they do to look like somebody else? And does that affect their identity, like who they are?
Mhm.
And is it okay to be authentically you and enhance who you are instead of changing who you are? Nora, I'm gonna come back to you on that.
Yeah, I did start with that, didn't I? Um, I did start with that idea because it was just ringing in my mind about how women do that. They literally hide behind that makeup and they hide in that identity, and you become that person. And somebody just said it, maybe it was you, Whitney, who said everybody start looking alike, and it's so true. Like you could tell the makeup girl, they all got the same kind of lashes, the same kind of contour going on, like they literally look just alike. And so I'm from a makeup family, y'all. So y'all, my siblings are like, one of my sisters is a makeup artist, one is a hairdresser. And so they won't even let me go anywhere with them without doing something like going crazy on makeup. So I just get it for free, but I know it's very expensive otherwise. But I mean, I mean, bundles, y'all. Like if we get even into hair and makeup, like together, like the bundles is $400 or $500, $700 hairstyles. And I've seen women pay that. Like they will save money up for that. Like the makeup is very expensive, just like y'all just
Mhm.
all said. So to live that lifestyle, people will go through great lengths to be able to hide who they are, and they just become accustomed to that image, and that's just who they presented, and without it, they feel naked. And to say anything is wrong with it, I think it is something wrong with it. I think it is some healing that needs to take place when you're in
Mhm.
that place where you cannot show up, and it can become an addiction when you won't be able to go anywhere without doing that, because people love that version of you and they don't know the other version. And so to show up as your real self is uncomfortable and it doesn't feel good for you, but to show up as that made up girl who always has it together, people accept that version. So I think it's a lot deeper than makeup. It's a lot deeper than what people see on the surface. I mean, we can always brush it off and say, oh, that's her body, her choice, which is true. It's her body, her choice. And I don't knock women who wear makeup because, hey, listen, I like to slay just like every other girl. But it's something when you attach it to your identity that it
Mhm.
becomes toxic.
Right.
So that's my
Hmm.
thoughts.
That's good. Whitney, piggyback on that, please.
I totally agree. So I had a roommate in college at one time, like she would not leave the house without makeup. Literally, I picked her up one time and like carried her out and she like cried, like she did not want to go. And I remember like a couple years like after that, she called me. She's like, "You won't believe it." And I was like, "Oh God, what's up?" Like, cause, and she's like, "I left the house without makeup on," and I was like for me, like that's a normal thing, but to her, she was like, "I actually did this. Like, it was a big deal. It was a moment in life of like, no, I was like okay with myself and how I looked, leaving the house without putting any makeup on. Like, and it hit me like that. Like, dang, like we get addicted, and that's for all of us in some type of way, like addicted to certain things about how we look that we don't want anybody else to see us without it. And it's a sad state, but I think so much because you look at social media, you look at movies, you look at Disney, like all the princesses, their hair is perfect, is this, is that, and that's the reality that like is filtered, especially to women, like from growing up. Like you're perfect, you have to face covered, and I've heard people tell me like their parents and dad would be like, women and put on a face, da da da, and I'm like, yeah, my dad never said anything like that, like, but it's reality for a lot of people, and it's tied to who they are, which I think, like Nora said, it's a healing journey.
Yeah.
That's good. Denisha?
I think it's pretty scary if you really think about it, to where your identity is in these bottles and compacts on your bathroom cabinet. Like you can't go be yourself if you don't make yourself up before you leave the house. And it's that important. Like Nora said, people would go to great lengths to have bundles, to have the lashes, to have all that. There's the microblading of the
Yes.
eyebrows and all that. There's so much stuff going on. And it's like if for some people, if they don't have that stuff together, they can't go to work, they can't go to grocery stores, they can't do anything. And I'm brought back to some of the videos and some of the reels that I used to watch, where you know how the girl was saying, 98% of the time I look busted, but that 2%, you know, and all of a sudden she's contoured and all that or whatever. Some people live in that 2% 24/7.
Right.
Like they can't go out being busted. Like I'm that 98% of the time. I mean, I will go to Walmart with a scarf around my head. I will just do what I need to do because I'm not there for other people. I'm there to pick up some healthy food that I really don't want to eat. I'd rather have a cheeseburger, but I'm trying to go do that. So that's why I can't be doing no contouring because I'm trying to do other stuff. And so I just don't have time for it. And I just think it's a crutch, and I think it's really, really sad and disheartening for a lot of people that can't go out, and it's like they don't even give themselves permission to be who they are, and
Right.
they won't go deeper, and they won't find out who they are without these coatings and without all this other stuff that has to go on first. I really don't want someone's identity to be in a foundation bottle and a compact.
Marie, and then we're going to come back to this part.
I agree. I think it's like really, really sad to think that someone would find their identity in makeup. I had a friend growing up that she wouldn't go out of the house without makeup on. Like if she did not have makeup on, her purse had like 15 different lipsticks in it. She would change it every hour because she's like, I can't do this. But that also stems from her being abused. And so she's like, I have to cover it up. So I feel like makeup sometimes can be a mask for people. Like, I got to cover this up. I got to make sure that nobody sees this. I got to make sure that they see the smile and not the sadness, because no one knows how to be real at this point. It's just if I'm real, then I'm more hurt and busted than anything else. So I have to do a mask and cover it up.
That's good.
Good.
So my mind is going in several different directions because I do have a script laid out here, tons of paper, tons of notes. So you see all of that, those are my notes, right? So there is a method to the madness, but like this, it brings up so much more because number one, we're not knocking anybody that is using makeup or any other things to make themselves look wonderful. Who doesn't want to look good? If I had a makeup artist that could do my makeup every day, or a sister that could do my makeup every day, that would be me.
That would be great.
All the time. Like if I could pay $500-$600 every week, have my beautician live with me like every day, like it would be a whole nother ball game. But because I do not,
Man.
yeah, it's I'm not knocking the people that can afford it, that can do that. But I guess it does become a problem when you're addicted to it, when your identity is in it, because it speaks to more of what has happened to you, the brokenness, the desperate need of healing. So I want to ask, say you're talking to somebody, because I don't want this one thing to bring out something, but then there's another thing to be empathetic, step in their shoes, and be able to help them out of it. So let's go in with that. What would you say to somebody that has masked themselves? Because people not only mask themselves with makeup, but they mask themselves with other people's personalities. They pick up stuff here and there, and then you ain't even you've got like Fire Marshal Bill. Yeah, I remember him. Yeah, Fire Marshal. You thought this person was funny, but they've been watching Fire Marshal Bill or Jamie Foxx or Dave Chappelle or something like that. So like, this is not just. We're not just talking about. I'm sorry that they're not Christian people, but we're not just talking about masking with makeup. But what would you say to somebody that does do that? Not in a sense of pity, like I'm above you, I'm superior to you, but meeting them on their level. What would you say to someone? We're gonna start with you, Marie. What would you say to someone in that space to help them get out, or even just start the journey to look inward for healing?
One thing that I know I would definitely say, something that me and that friend had also talked about, is find one thing about yourself that you like, whether it's your hair, your eyes, and then work from there. Go with that. Like, okay, well, you like your hair. Why do you like your hair? What about your hair do you like? What about your eyes? Okay, well then maybe let's put your hair up this way, or let's put, maybe add just a little bit less makeup around your eyes so people can see your eyes instead of the makeup itself. Something to kind of give them one thing to focus on at a time, because if you work on it at all at once, it's going to overwhelm you and pull you further in. So just work at one thing at a time and go from there.
Whitney.
I think about a lot of things, honestly, because I think if you don't know the root of why you do things, it's hard to deal with them effectively. Like, it's like putting a Band-Aid over, a stab wound. So getting to the root issue of, why do I do this? Why do I think this way? What is there that some people don't even know like that they need to be healed in certain areas? Like, I've been there. Like, I'm like, oh, I do this, and then I'm realized that someone tells me like, no, when you're messed up right here because of this, and I'm like, you're right. Like, and it's just so normal to you that it's become who you are, and you don't even realize that you're not healed, if that makes any sense. So I say, like, finding those root issues, you have to be honest with yourself, and it takes some courage and humility to do that. Like, being really honest with yourself and like writing those things out of, hey, why do I do these things in my life? Why do I cover? Why do I wear all this makeup? Why do I take on somebody else's personality? And find the root. And that's, I think, where healing starts. But it takes a lot of honesty, and it takes a lot of courage to like do that. And because it can be painful. It can hurt, opening up like wounds that you have tried to hide for so long.
Yeah.
Denisha.
I would challenge them to not do God a huge disservice by not discovering the dopeness that he put inside them in the first place. He's made us all very dope people in our own rights. And we're here, still alive, and we still have a purpose. That's why we're all still here. I think one of the greatest frontiers ever is discovering yourself, who you are. People have climbed Mount Everest. People have been to the North Pole. People have done all kinds of things. But when it comes to discovering who we are and climbing those mountains and digging out those things, for some reason we've shied away from that. It's not important as it needs to be. And I just think that we do God a huge disservice because we don't even live up to who he wants us to be because of self-esteem issues and the way we see ourselves, comparing ourselves to other people. And I think that if we just discover just how dope he has made us, how beautiful he has made us, how creative we are, and just how amazing we are as individuals, then all those other masks that Andrea talked about earlier, they will have no effect because we'll walk around in his image, and we'll walk around in the headspace of who he has created us to be and getting our confidence from there. And I would even say that to somebody who wasn't a Christian. I mean, if they're asking the universe or if they're asking whatever, I just would be like, look inside yourself first. Ask yourself, why do I keep doing this? What am I hiding from? What hurts do I not want to come up? Because once you figure those things out and discover that final frontier, which I think is all of us discovering really who we are and walking in that, I think it's a really great thing.
All right, Nora, I left you last for a reason.
Oh, because I'm long-winded.
No.
This is a good one, y'all. You know I like to talk, Andrea.
I do,
but
anyway,
this is so good because it is a question I had to ask myself is, who are you trying to fool? You know, as I walked into my closet and I seen my shoes, y'all. I have a huge shoe collection. I have a huge perfume and all of the things that women like to collect. I've always been a girly girl. I have 7 siblings that are girls, and I have 6 boys too. It's 13 of us total. But we have always been girly girls. So makeup, hair, all of that stuff that you think about when you think about a girl's night, that is literally my closet. So I was collecting those things, and I would organize it real cute and make myself think I was rich, you know, and hoping one day I could really afford that and not have to put it on a credit card, but just consuming these things, y'all, and just having them and looking at them every day and trying to organize my life and create this image that I had it going on, you know, and not really have it going on. And then one day I was in my closet and I was just sitting on the floor and I was thinking, the question that came to my head was, who are you trying to fool? Like, who are you fooling right now in this moment? Like, who are you running from? What image are you trying? And I never had a specific person or individual or a group or anyone that I was trying to do this for. It was just something that just rose up in me over the years. And I really had to begin that I was, and I had to come into a place to say that, Nora, you are hiding something. It's some pain. It's something that happened. It's some trauma that you have buried in these shoes and in this makeup and in this perfume and in this organization and in this life that you have created for yourself that is not real. And I begin to peel back the layers. You know, I began to journal and peel back those layers of what exactly I was trying to hide. And I realized that I was trying to hide who I really was in those scars. But as I went through my journey, y'all, this is what I found. I also found that even in that pain, that even when I had that pain and I had that trauma, that yes, this was who I was, but I didn't have to hide in it. It didn't have to be my crutch, that I could be beautiful and have makeup and have my nice shoes and also be healed at the same time. Because there was one point where I got rid of it all, right? I went through different phases of this journey, but I'm in this journey now where I found out that I can have my makeup and I can have my shoes, but I'm balanced now, right? It's not everything. It doesn't consume me. Like, I can go to Walmart with a bare face and I can go in there and slay too. Like, I'm the best of both worlds now. But it was a time when I had to hide behind my makeup and I had to be that girl and I had to be what people wanted me to be. But now I can be it on my own terms. So if I feel like slaying, honey, I'm finna slay. I'm finna have 20 inches all the way down my back and the curls to match. I can do both. And that's where I found my balance. So that's why I don't push too hard on girls, because I see me in them girls. I see those bundles and I see the 20-year-old me or the 22-year-old me. And then I see the 31-year-old me. And now I'm 36 now. And I know that I'm going to reach another level later on. And I'm excited to see what 40 may bring. But what I'm saying is it's layers to this. It's levels. And you got to understand where you at in the situation. And I know I'm going over my time, but I want people to understand when they're going through those levels that it's different, that you okay wherever you at. If you that makeup girl, you okay there too. If you wherever you at, you okay in those levels, and you will grow and you will develop in this peace, and we got room for you too. We got space for all y'all, and no matter what level y'all in, but understand that you have to know where you at. If you hiding something, I implore you to explore it. And I did that to my goddaughter too. I went into her room, and that's my 10 year younger than me. And I said, girl, what is you hiding? And she was like, what you talking about, Miss Nora? That's what she called me. And I said, girl, you hiding something. You got too many shoes. Something's going on. What is happening? And so I'm not afraid to ask my 21-year-olds those questions now. So I'm so glad you asked that, because that is what I ask people. Girl, what are you hiding?
That's so good. That's so good. You know, I'm sitting here and I'm welling up because, like, this is a lot for me. So I'm gonna just put it out there. I'm gonna be real transparent right now. Nora, you and I talked about having an alcoholic parent.
Yeah.
And sometimes with that alcoholism, you have things that are said about your other parent that are not necessarily good. My mother's a beautiful woman. But with an abusive parent, that is an alcoholic, I heard very horrible things about my mother and the way she looked. Her head's too big, her clothes are too wide, her hips are too big, her face is too, all these things. And as I have gotten older, I look a whole lot like her. Right. And just the other day, I'm looking in the mirror and I'm like, what is the issue? Why am I having such a problem with being this size? Because 5 or 6 year old me heard that this size was not good, right? My mother's beautiful. She's a beautiful woman. Like, anybody that looks at her she's not just beautiful outwardly, but she's beautiful on the inside. If you meet her, you feel like you've met sugar. She's wonderful.
Right.
But I'm looking at myself, and I'm looking in the mirror, and I'm like, man, what is this? Why am I so here? But it's those words.
Yeah.
And I get it. I relish in the fact that I was small, right? Skinny. I've been skinny forever. I could lose weight quickly. I didn't have to use a lot of makeup. That was me. But now I'm in a place where I've gotten a little bit older. Y'all saw it. I put it out there all the way. Yeah, I turned 40 this year. And it's not as easy to lose it because I'm not going to lose it unhealthy. Because what I used to do is I'd fast for a while and drop it. Yeah, right. Or do some crazy diet and lose it. I am not one of these people that likes to cry online or cry ever. But I saw it. Like you said, there's layers to this. I never thought that this was an issue. Like, you know what I mean? Like, this is no, it's not a problem. But why am I so irritated with the way that I look in the mirror? I'm a beautiful woman. I'm a beautiful woman.
Yes.
Right.
Abuse does something to you, right? It does.
Yeah.
It messes with your psyche, and people tell you to get over stuff. But the psychological damage, if you don't know it's there, can be damaging. I'm 40 years old. I heard these things a long time ago, and it was controlling the way that I thought about myself up until the other day.
Wow.
So we're not getting out here as experts. We're not getting out here as people that have it all together. We're getting out here people that are being honest and open about a situation. We're talking about our journeys, and we're saying, hey, look, it's not just you. It's not just you.
Yeah.
It's us too. And we're still leaning in.
That's right.
Nora, did you have something that you wanted to say?
No, I was totally agreeing with you, but I wanted to say, if I could, and I know that I was just thinking about what you said about your dad, and I can totally relate, but it's the lessons that our parents teach us without teaching us. He didn't tell you that, hey, it's a lesson today that your mom is not this way and she's not a nice looking woman or she's an ugly woman. But that was a lesson that he taught you at 5 years old. And so you carried that. And a lot of us are carrying those same lessons that we learned at 4 and 5, and they show up at 30 or 40 or 50 years old, no matter what your healing stage may be. And I talk a lot about my healing journey. And I know, Whitney, you mentioned it and you repeated what I said as well back. And just having that resonate, and then you saying what you're saying right now, Andrea, it just makes sense. It's just sometimes our parents teach us lessons without teaching us lessons. And he taught you that lesson, and it's our job as adults and as healed women to unlearn those lessons. Because, yeah, you taught me a lesson, but I don't have to accept that. I'm giving you back your stuff. You gave me that garbage about my mom.
No, that's
I'm giving it back to you because that's not
you
true.
Can have it back.
That's not who she is. And so, you just, when people give you their garbage, you give it back to them. And that's what I learned to do. Like I said, I'm not coming in as an expert. I'm coming from a place of experience because, my dad said some really nasty things about my mom and really mean things about her looks. And I end up looking just like my mama. I literally look just like my mama. Me and my mom are twins, and then my daughters look just like me. So it's triplets. Like literally, if we're in the same room, it's triplets. And I love that. I love how my mama looked. Like I don't believe any of those lies that my dad told me about my mom. But it was a time, like I said, where it would come back and like, dang, he said all this stuff about that. That's crazy, to think about that stuff. But yeah, I'm totally with you. And I don't like to cry on camera, but you made me try. I dropped a tear. This is so good. Like, this is Bob. I'm going back to watch later because it's just so good.
Did anybody else want to jump in and say something? Thank you, Nora. I appreciate that. That was really good.
I agree with you, Andrea. Like being like when you talk about like abuse, like whether you saw that growing up or like I've been in relationships like that, and you hear something every day, you internalize these lies, and then you look at yourself differently. Like one moment you just look in yourself in the mirror and like who am I? Like what am I doing? Why do I view myself like this? Or like, they're right. And you're like, how did I get, when you get out of it, you're like, how did I get here?
Yeah.
It's like these daily consistent things that instead, like, if you guys ever see me, y'all know, I'll be like, and I'm like, people are like, what are you doing? I'm like, a thought came and I'm like, no, because for a long time I couldn't do that. And so it's, you internalize it and you don't even know it until it shows up and you're like, what am I doing? Who am I? Like, why do I feel this way about myself? And it takes some undoing. The same way of every day you heard it and internalized it. It's an everyday like battle to like take those thoughts and like speak out about yourself for so long. Like I was in a relationship before, and he was like, Whitney, I want you to like look in the mirror every morning and tell yourself you're beautiful. I'm like, got it. Until I woke up that next morning and looked at myself, and I just cried because I couldn't do it. Like, it's work, and people don't understand like exactly how words really affect the things that we consume,
Right.
what people have said to us, or what we just, like we said, as kids took in, until we're sitting here like and can look at it face to face.
Mm-hmm.
That's good. Marie, you had something?
I was agreeing with both of them because I mean I was raised in an abusive situation for years, and so I was looking for the love of a mother and got rejected by both of them, step and my regular. So then that causes a lot of trust issues and a lot of other things that I would mask all the time. And finally getting to the point, it's like, okay, well, I can't keep doing this because this is affecting me. It's affecting my job. It's affecting the people around me. It's affecting friendships. Like, what we don't realize is that, yes, the words that we hear, if we allow them to take root, it affects everything and everyone around us. It doesn't just affect us. So, yeah, I totally agree.
So I want to say this right here. Yeah, we are talking about social media, but we're talking about motivation behind where a lot of these negative thoughts come from. Why am I comparing myself to the person on social media? Because somebody has told them they have 150,000 likes, so they look beautiful. So I can, if I look like them, or if I take on that persona, if I take on that identity, if I take on that mask, then maybe I will be loved, and maybe I will be cared for. Maybe somebody will pay attention to me, just like they're paying attention to them, because for right now, nobody's really looking at me. Nobody's really checking for me, right? Nobody's paying attention to me. The people that should take care of me, the people that should love me, are not loving me. So I find myself in social media because you can't really see me, right? You can't see me. You don't look at me. You're not looking at me. You're looking at my best self picture.
Yeah.
Or how I've shaped my face picture.
So it's
or
where's your kid?
my my
I'm letting you see
50,
what I want you to see.
That's right.
50 pounds lighter. Right? Best self. No acne from that time of the, you can't see me. I can't hide. I can't. Unless I go live, and then that's a whole nother story, right? But I can hide. And I can talk about somebody that's beautiful because they are out in the open, and I can be a troll. Say what I want to. Whoo, this is a lot, y'all. It's a lot. It's a lot. It's a lot.
Don't open up that can.
It's good.
Okay, look here. So we talked about how we were personally affected by it. All of you have posted pictures of yourself with a positive body image out there on social media. There's a lot of images that are out there that people are comparing themselves to. What would you say, or how would you talk to creators and say, hey, look, how do you tailor your message so that it becomes positive and not something negative they're comparing themselves to, but really actualizing who they are? You get what I'm saying? How do you talk to creators and you say, hey, this is what needs to happen? Let's go with you, Denisha.
Wow. If and when I'm on social media, I like to follow people that sometimes they'll do fitness or whatever, and they'll show you, like, if I sit like this, I look really, really thin, but this is how I really sit. And they'll show the two pictures. Or they'll show, I'll take my leg and I'll turn it and I'll stand straight up, but then I'll just put my body back square. You see all this cellulite right here. So I like when they show the real side of it. Like, this is how I pose because I'm a model, I'm a fitness model, I do this and that, but this is how I have to turn and pose to get these photos. This is not how I look every day. This is not how I look every day. So I kind of like that. I also like some of the other um, underwear companies and lingerie companies or whatever. They're embracing all body types now, using everybody, and I just really like that, especially having 4 children and 2 C-sections. And I have a fupa. I do not have a flat stomach. My stomach has been through World War IV having these children. So it just ain't gonna be
Yes.
flat like that. And I love seeing those. They had underwear models with the fupa and with stretch marks because they had babies. And I was like, I can be sexy too. I can be sexy with this fupa. It was so nice to see that. So I would love to see more real content like that to make everyday women feel as beautiful as these women that are spending hundreds of dollars and thousands of dollars a week and month getting everything done, having a glam squad. We cannot have a glam squad. We just don't have that right now. So I would just love to know whoever's putting the content out that this is what I do, but this is who I am, and keep that balance.
That's good. Marie.
I agree, keeping the balance for sure. But one thing I would like to see is like if they actually did like a real week, and instead of doing the modeling and how they want it to do it, have them do it in real life. Like, okay, well, this is how I really walk every day. This is how I sit every day, kind of like what she was talking about. It's like actually have a complete week where there's nothing that is professional. It's all candid. So then people can realize, hey, I'm a human just like you. I go through struggles.
Right.
I eat the same foods, so have a complete real week so people can see that.
That's good.
That's good. Nora.
Did you say me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah, I like what y'all just said. I think it's good because if you show a human side to yourself, people stop idolizing you. I think we idolize a lot of celebrities and stuff, maybe not even on purpose. Sometimes you just like to see that cleaned up, nice look. And I got really heavy into organization. I got into this organization group. I went up to Hobby Lobby and I got me some little things, and put my stuff. It didn't last. All right, stuff was everywhere. Like literally, I put the little toys and everything, and I organized. I even color coded the toys, y'all. Put the little pink stuff over there. Yeah, right. That crap did not last. I wanted my money back. I needed me a refund, so I go buy some more makeup. But I did that for my girls' room, and I bought the little cute pink hangers, the little kid size ones, y'all. Like they have stuff, everything to fit their little room, and that room was tore up from the floor when I came back in there. I'm surprised the TV wasn't on the floor because I mounted the TV on what my husband did. We mounted the TV, honey. We wanted the room to look like, real cute or whatever. And that stuff don't last. But I like to see if people would be real and show me the room after them kids went in there, or after people like
Come
you see.
on.
Let me see what the house really looked like after the cleaning lady left. And a lot of social media influencers don't tell you that they have a nanny. They don't tell you that they have a full makeup crew. They don't tell you all the stuff that goes in, and you trying to figure out how they got 1 million followers because they got a nanny. Like they didn't hire somebody, child. Like, listen, you're not gonna be able to do that in real life, and people need to be more realistic on everything. We talked a little bit about what's more attractive to the palate and what people like to digest better, and we went over that last time. But I think it's something to be said about this part of it too. Like the dynamics are different. Like you can't come up and show up on social media this way because you don't have the help. You don't have the finances.
That's
you don't
so
have
good.
to be able to show up in that light. And I think people need to be honest about that and tell you the journey. So
yes, it's like if you got a glam squad, let us know that.
Yeah, let me know.
Let us know that you have a whole squad. Yeah. You have a whole squad helping you do this. You got somebody to cook your meals, clean your house, take care of your kids, put your makeup on, and do your hair. You got somebody doing all that, and then you expect me at home to be trying to keep up. And I'm just up here. I got some mascara and some lip gloss. Okay, that's what I got.
That's so good. I like that. Yes, I'm with you. Like I would high five you or something like that to connect. Because man, it's so ridiculous though.
It is. Okay, I gotta tell y'all something. I just found out that the you know the things that we do for praying hands.
Oh
You
yeah.
know, praying hands. I found out there was a high five.
Yeah, that's a high
Oh,
five.
is that a high five?
Yeah, but
Yeah.
we praying though.
Wow, I just found that out right now. I thought that's not a prayer hand.
That's a high five.
Well, let me send you some prayer hands.
There you go.
They still gonna be
Go
praying
for it.
hands for me.
That's crazy.
Sorry. I digress.
Yeah.
Whitney.
So I've seen both sides of it. Obviously being in that industry and doing shoots, yeah, you have a team. You got the camera guy, you got somebody helping the camera guy, I got a hair person, I got a makeup artist. So yeah, it is a lot. And seeing that side, especially on fitness industry and understanding how a lot of industry and social media stuff works is, yeah, there's a team of people who, that's what they do. They do marketing. So you wonder why people have 2 million followers, because there's people knowing which hashtags to put in, what time of the day to post, and which days most people are active and doing all these things. So it's not a one person job. It's really not.
That's so good.
And yeah, I've seen it. I've seen it all.
So good.
But I think part of that is when we say like, oh, what should we tell the people to create? I like, it starts with yourself. What are you putting out? What are we creating? And that's like, you see my pages, like you get a lot of like everything. You will see me looking around like I haven't washed my hair in 4 days and haven't done anything, because that's how my life is. I'm not gonna lie. Even like I posted, it's been some months, but about like a bodybuilding picture, a swimsuit picture, and then another one, and like they're all a little bit different, but I was made the point of, you know, appreciating like where our bodies are at, because I have times like that, especially like as women, your hormones are like on a 28-day cycle, and so your estrogens are higher, you're more fluffy, you retain more water as your menstrual cycle, and just like embracing each of those phases, because you're the same person. But I have times I'm like, I was telling one of my friends, I'm like, I think I told you guys, like, I don't like how I look right now and have a shoot in 4 days. Like, I have a swimsuit shoot in 4 days and I don't like how I look. And he's like, work out like you've been doing. And I'm like, in my mind, I'm like, yeah, that sounds great. But like, I don't know how I look like right now. But realizing like, when you're the same person, and embrace all those areas, because you are a woman, you are going to hold more water at certain times of the month. You are going to be fluffier. Like, appreciate where you're at in your body, because that's who you are. And it's just a realization. People are like, oh, you look, I don't look like that all the time, every day, because I'm a woman, my body changes. So
Right. That's good.
That's good.
That is true.
That's really good. I feel like we've gone through all of these things. So what I want you to do, I know we talked about how you would help somebody. And Nora, you did this a little bit, but I want you to address that woman that is experiencing, or that man that's experiencing issues. They're hiding behind a mask. I want you to address them. In a minute or two, just address them and tell them that they're loved and they're enough. All right, Marie.
I would say that with Psalm 139, where it says that we are fearfully, wonderfully made, know that God made you, and not somebody else. Know that what you look like, God created you specifically just for a reason. And know that somebody else, He has a plan for them, but He has a plan for you. So never forget that you're beautiful. He has a plan specifically just for you.
That's good. Whitney.
that's one of my favorite ones too, Marie, but also the one that he talks about, like, I'm complete in him. So what is complete? Like, I don't need to add anything. It says in Christ you are complete. Like, he has completed you. So I have nothing missing, nothing lacking. And just understanding that, but not just here, but like really like embracing that. And also just the fact, like, God doesn't make mistakes. You know, like, I'm not 5'9" with these super long, slender legs, you know, but that's okay, because what I'm called to in my purpose, like seeing it from a bigger view, like a bird's eye view of how things are, is that he's created you for a time and a purpose in the way you are, and to walk in that, because don't shame yourself because that's saying like, God, you didn't know what you're doing. You didn't make me good enough. No, he knew exactly, and you were fearfully and wonderfully made, and he didn't make any mistakes. He didn't make any mistakes about a hair on your head or a freckle on your face. Like, you are complete in him, and you are whole, nothing missing, nothing lacking.
That's good. Denisha.
I would say to them that it is unrealistic for you to carry this whole burden of being perfect all the time.
Yes.
That is so unrealistic that social media has kind of dumped onto all of us. You need to look like this all the time. You must be like this all the time. And Jesus says in the word that my burden is easy and my yoke is light. Like he doesn't pressure us to do that. So I would just implore them to take that pressure off themselves and just see themselves as God does, because he didn't design us to carry burdens like that. He just didn't. And it can be so toxic and so heavy in our lives. And I go back to it a lot when I deal with things. My yoke is easy and my burden is light. I'm like, okay, Lord, this is too heavy for me. Let me give this to you. So that's what I would encourage them to do.
Nora.
I would definitely encourage them, especially like social media, about numbers, that it doesn't matter if they see you or not, that you are who you are. And I always think about that song, that a rose is still a rose. Like, no matter where that rose is, it's still a rose. And no matter where that diamond is, it's still a diamond. If I'm in California and my diamond is in New York, I'm still a diamond. I'm still shining out there. It doesn't matter if the people in Cali don't see me. So it doesn't matter if they're not liking or sharing or whatever the case may be. And I know a lot of times we get caught up that on social media. I know I did when I first started being a social media influencer, is that I wanted people to share my content. I wanted people to see me. I wanted people to know, to give me the thumbs up, just to let me know, hey, am I doing well? Are y'all seeing me? Is this good?
Right.
Because you kind of don't know. And then you get caught up in that because you think because the less likes that your content is not good, but your content could be incredible. People just not liking it. And so just know that just because, no matter where you at, you still a rose. If I ball up my dollar and throw it on the ground, it's still $1. Or if I give it to the cashier, it's still $1. My value does not change because people ain't using it.
Amen.
So you just got to know who you are and stand on that. So
it's good.
Wow. Look, it pays to have beautiful women. It pays to have confident women in your corner, and these women are that. So thank you, ladies, for being here. All right, look, I'm gonna say this to you. You matter. You're important. Your value didn't change. It is the same, right? As you were designed to be from the beginning. Your value is the same, no matter what social media looks like, whether you look like the wonderful creator on social media. Your value, you're worth it. You are worth it. Okay? You are. So, thank you for watching. Comment if you can. Ask questions. These ladies will be around to answer your questions. And we're going to come back with all 7 of these ladies. And we're going to have a huge conversation, our last conversation on body image. Until next time, we'll see you then. Bye.